Kunti Maharani prayed, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. Purport. Generally, the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive who have performed some pious activities worship or begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. This material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. They have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. The duty of the same person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Sure, suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization because that is the mission of human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so called calamities are called false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So, in this part of the Bhagavatam, we are studying the prayers offered by Queen Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas. Yesterday, we heard how Kunti Devi submitted the list of calamities that she and her sons had to go through. And she also was grateful to the Lord because in each of those calamities, the Lord personally protected the Pandavas and their mother Kunti Devi. So we discussed how it is so important for a devotee to always maintain the attitude of gratitude towards the Lord. We should be grateful to the Lord not only for sanctioning our desires, we should also be grateful to the Lord for not sanctioning our desires sometimes. Actually, we should come to this stage of devotional service where we don't desire anything apart from serving the Lord. That is the pure stage of devotional service, the gold standard of bhakti. But in our materially contaminated stage, we may desire so many things in this material world. So sometimes the Lord may fulfill our desires, sometimes He may not fulfill our desires. But in both the cases, we should know that the Lord is our well wisher. He protects us sometimes by not fulfilling our material desires. What we desire sometimes may be poisonous for our spiritual life. So the Lord protects us from the poison by not granting our material desires. So that is how the Lord protects His dear devotees. So we should offer gratitude to the Lord for all the things that He has sanctioned and for all the things that He has not sanctioned. In either case, whether the Lord fulfills our desire materially or spiritually, or He does not fulfill, we should be grateful to the Lord because the Lord is actually protecting us in all circumstances. And Kunti Devi, being a pure devotee herself, she is recollecting all the difficulties, calamities that they had to face, and she is thanking the Lord for protecting them in all circumstances. Now, in this prayer, the 25th verse that we just now read, Kunti Devi is making a revolutionary submission to the Lord. It is a revolutionary prayer. Why it is a revolutionary prayer? Because generally, people do not pray like this. What is she praying? Vipada santu taha shashvat. Vipadaha means calamities. Santu, let there be. Taha, all. Shashvat. Shashvat means again and again, permanently. So she is saying in this first line, let there be miseries again and again. Actually, this is the very interesting aspect of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, as it is mentioned in the very beginning, it is meant for creating a revolution in the minds of the people of this material world. It is meant for Janasya Viplavam. Viplava means revolution. Revolution means it is meant to make us understand something which is ordinarily undesirable is desired by a pure devotee. That which is undesirable by common people in this world is desired by the pure devotees of the Lord. In this way, the pure devotees of the Lord become transcendental to all material gains and losses. One nice example for that is in the Bhagavatam 6th canto. Narad Muni preaches to the sons of Daksha Prajapati, who happen to be the brother of Narad Muni. Daksha Prajapati and Narad Muni both are sons of Lord Brahma. So therefore they are brothers. So Daksha Prajapati, he creates 10,000 sons. He gives birth to 10,000 sons. And he asks them, please go perform austerities, become purified, please the Supreme Lord, and get a suitable wife so that you can all create population in this world. So on the order of Daksha Prajapati, all the 10,000 sons, they were known as Haryashvas. They all go to the forest, they perform intense tapasya. And while they were performing tapasya, Narad Muni, who freely travels everywhere, all over the three worlds, simply chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord and bestowing the mercy of the Lord to everybody. Narad Muni, who is a traveling preacher, he sees that these 10,000 sons of Daksha, they're all engaged in severe austerities. He's very pleased to see that. But when he understood that the intention behind these severe austerities is some material gain to get a wife and to increase population of this world, Narad Muni, who is a pure devotee himself, was very unhappy with this purpose of the tapasya. Tapasya was nice, but the purpose of the tapasya was not so much appreciated by a pure devotee like Narad Muni. A pure devotee like Narad Muni wants everybody to take up pure devotional service, become liberated, engage in the Lord's service, and go back to the spiritual world, become free from the cycle of birth and death. That is the desire of a pure devotee. So, Narad Muni goes to those Haryashvas, the 10,000 sons, and he tells them, he preaches to them in a very, very cryptic manner. If you study the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, you will understand that. It's a long description. Narad Muni preaches in a very interesting manner. Through allegories, he preaches. And because the Haryashvas were all already purified because of austerity, they could understand the inner meaning of what Narad Muni spoke. And they could understand that Narad Muni wants them to give up their material pursuits and take up the path of pure devotional service. So at once they give up their material desire of possessing suitable wives, and they instead engage in pure devotional service. And in this way, they attain liberation. They become liberated souls. So Narad Muni becomes very, very happy. A spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master, becomes very happy when he sees the progress of his disciples. He considers his mission, the Lord's mission, to be successful. So he was very happy. But Daksha Prajapati, when he got to know that all his 10,000 sons had renounced material desires and taken up the path of pure devotional service, he was very upset. Nevertheless, he creates another set of sons. He's Prajapati. He has the ability to give birth to children in large numbers. This time he creates 1,000 sons. He gives birth to 1,000 sons. And they were known as the Shavalasvas. The Shavalasvas, and he tells them, please go, perform austerity, and get suitable wives and increase the population of this world. So, based on the order of their father, again, these 1,000 sons, Shavalashvas, just like their elder brothers, they also go to the forest and perform severe tapasya. And once again, as they say, history repeats. Again, Narad Muni happens to see them. And again, Narad Muni preaches to them, but this time he says, if you really are affectionate towards your elder brothers, if you really respect them, you should follow the same path taken by your elder brothers, the Haryashvas. And because of the power of pure association of a pure devotee like Narad Muni, all those 1,000 sons, the Shavalashvas also, they renounce materialistic way of life. They take up the path of pure devotional service and they become liberated. So this time Narad Muni becomes overjoyed. Oh, mass preaching. See, Narad Muni is such a powerful preacher that his success rate is 100%. Whomever he preaches to, they all become devotees. They all become exalted devotees because of the purity of Narad Muni. Srila Prabhupada says, preaching is the essence and purity is the force. Prabhupada mentions this. Our Krishna consciousness movement is meant for preaching the pure message of surrender to the Lord, to one and all. And if one A preacher has to be successful in his preaching attempts, then he has to be pure in his consciousness. Purity comes by performing good sadhana, by chanting the holy names, by following the instructions of the spiritual master very diligently. So, Narad Muni is such a powerful, pure devotee of the Lord. So, therefore, whomever he preaches to, they all become very, very fixed up in bhakti. They become liberated. So Narad Muni was so happy. Oh, first set of 10,000 sons of Daksha Prajapati, they got liberated. The second set of 1,000 sons, they are also liberated. So it's a mass liberation program. Narad Muni's program, his mass liberation program was successful. He was so happy. So he goes to his brother Daksha Prajapati and tells the good news. Oh, my dear brother, good news for you. All your 11,000 sons, they have got liberated. So Daksha Prajapati should have actually taken pleasure in this news, but instead he becomes very angry. Daksha Prajapati says to Narad Muni, "O Narada, you are externally dressing like a great saintly devotee, but your character doesn't actually match with your devotee consciousness. You're not displaying a devotee behavior. One time you foiled my plan. I was patient. I tolerated. Again, second time, you have brainwashed my children and you have made them immaturely take up the path of renunciation. This is not at all correct." So, Daksha Prajapati here is representing materialistic people, and Narad Muni is representing the pure devotee, Acharya. Materialistic people make wonderful plans for themselves and for their family members, their many generations. They want to nicely engage in sense gratification and settle down in this material world. This is out of their intense desire for sense gratification. So Daksha Prajapati was saying that what you did is not correct, O Narad Muni. My sons should have taken up Grihastha Ashrama, and afterwards, in due course of time, gradually they would have developed detachment from this world. Then they would have accepted sannyasa gradually. But what you have done, these boys are immature. They have not seen the world. And you have simply brainwashed them. And you have asked them to immediately take up the renounced order of life, which is not at all correct. This was the argument of Daksha Prajapati. And Daksha Prajapati also said, look at me, even though I am a Grihastha, I am so detached. I'm so advanced. I'm more advanced than any Paramahamsa, sannyasi. Like that, he was actually proud about himself. Actually, the statements made by Daksha Prajapati are not at all correct. Srila Prabhupada and the other acharyas explain that pure devotional service is the only thing that can satisfy the soul. It is not a fact that a person should first enter Grihastha Ashrama, then out of material frustration, gradually he will develop detachment, and then slowly he will take up the path of pure bhakti or renunciation. If that was the case, then everybody in this world who have entered Grihastha life should have become detached. Even though they are facing so many difficulties in their daily life, to maintain their family, they have to slog, they have to work so hard, and they have to suffer so much. In spite of such intense suffering, detachment does not come about in their mind. So it is not a fact that one has to go through material suffering and then realize that I have to give up this materialistic way of life and take up pure bhakti. No. Simply if one submissively hears to a pure devotee of the Lord like Narad Muni, and from him takes transcendental knowledge and understands the futility of materialistic way of living, one actually becomes very intelligent. First class intelligence is to hear from authorities and understand and then follow their instructions. Second class intelligence is to personally go through the painful experiences and then try to develop detachment. And third class intelligence is even after going through, even after experiencing so many materialistic difficulties in this world, still there is no question of detachment coming in the mind. That's a third class person. In Kali Yuga, we are all third class people. Even after going through so many miseries, so many difficulties, we know Krishna himself is telling in the Bhagavad Gita, this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, but still we maintain so many hopes that one day I will conquer all these dukkhas by my endeavors, and I will work hard, I will earn money, I will settle down in this world. So this is all foolish. One simply has to submissively hear from a pure devotee. So many lifetimes we have actually gone through this whole business of material sense gratification. In so many lifetimes, we have gone through the so called pleasures of family life, so called pleasures of wife, children, and all of that. This one lifetime, if we can actually forego these kind of materialistic attempts and simply surrender to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and render service under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, our life becomes successful. We can go back to Godhead. Now, coming back to the story of Narad Muni, Daksha Prajapati became so angry at Narad Muni. So he cursed Narad Muni. He said, I curse you that from today you shall not be able to remain in one single place for a long time. You should simply keep traveling all over the world. This is my curse upon you. And Narad Muni, who is actually described in the beginning of the first canto of Bhagavatam in the third chapter, we have read that. Narad Muni is actually a Shaktiyavesha avatar of the Lord, empowered incarnation of the Lord. It was within his capacity to actually counter curse. It was within Narad Muni's capacity to foil the curse of Daksha Prajapati. But Narad Muni did not do any such thing. Neither he counter cursed Daksha Prajapati, nor he foiled the words of Daksha Prajapati. Instead, he said, Tat Badham, let it be so. I'm so happy, oh brother. This is not a curse, it is a benediction. It is a Varadana for me. Because I can travel to more number of places and I can meet more number of people and I can make them devotees. I can give them the message of Krishna consciousness. My dear brother, you have not cursed me. It is actually a blessing in disguise. This was the response of Narad Muni. That is why Narad Muni is Triloka Sanchari. He travels everywhere and he meets all kinds of people, the demons, the demigods, all kinds of people, and he simply preaches to them. So, the point that I wanted to draw your attention in this story of Bhagavatam, in this pastime of Narad Muni getting cursed, is that a pure devotee like Narad Muni, for him, he knows the art of converting every curse into a blessing because he is engaged in the service of the Lord. When we are fully engaged in the service of the Lord, nothing can be an impediment to our service. Even the so-called inconveniences can become the biggest strength for a devotee. This is a very revolutionary concept that is presented again and again in so many pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Narad Muni converted the inconvenience of traveling to so many places into a service opportunity. Look at the positive frame of mind of Narad Muni. So, a lesson for all of us is there may be so many inconveniences in our life created by our past karmas, but if we are guided by devotees and if we become fully absorbed in the service of the Lord, Every such inconvenience can be converted into an opportunity to become closer and closer to Krishna, to intensify our service and relationship with Krishna. So here the same thing Kunti Devi is also saying. So this is how Bhagavatam changes called Janasya Viplavam. Bhagavatam revolutionizes our thought process. It changes our paradigm by giving all such wonderful case studies of such exalted pure devotees. Narad Muni converted the curse into a opportunity to render service. And a very similar thing Kunti Maharani is saying in the shloka, Vipadaha Santuta Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Tatra means there. Jagat Guru, O Lord of the universe, let more and more miseries come for us. This is again revolutionary prayer, as I mentioned. Nobody will pray like this. But she is saying, let more miseries come. Now, what is her reason for this? Why she wants more miseries to come? She is saying, Bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhava darshanam. She is saying, Bhavataha, your darshanam, meeting, yat syat. Yat means that which, syat is, apunaha means not again or no more repetition. Bhava darshanam. Bhava means repetition of birth and death. Darshana means to see. So she is saying, let more miseries come to us, O Krishna, O Jagat Guru, O Lord of the universe, because each time when miseries come, helplessly we call out to you as usual, and we get to see you. Seeing you means no more we have to see repeated births and deaths. This is the logic of Kunti Devi. So misery should come. As we read in yesterday's purport, Prabhupada said, the Lord arranges miserable conditions for his pure devotees to and creates a state of helplessness for them so that they increase their attachment and dependence on the Lord. So here, Kunti Devi is saying the same thing. Let more miseries come. And when miseries come, we will depend on you, we will remember you, and you are Bhakta Vatsala. Every time your devotees are in trouble and they remember you, you surely will come and protect them. And when you come, you are giving your darshan to us, and we get to see you sakshat through our eyes. We are able to see you, Krishna. And seeing you means we don't have to see repeated births and deaths again. We become free from the cycle of birth and death. So, this is a revolutionary prayer. It is something unimaginable that a devotee, it is unimaginable for people in this world, especially materialistic people, to even think like this. Because people always go to some holy places, they go to temples and pray to God or pray to devatas there. Oh, I have this many problems. Please remove these problems, remove these problems. But actually, if one is intelligent, one will not pray to remove the problems. One will pray, oh Lord, remove me from this material world. That is the root level solution. In this connection, Srila Prabhupada says another story, narrates in one of his lectures. Prabhupada says, there was one old lady, one old woman. She was carrying a pile of sticks for firewood from the forest. She collected a lot of firewood and she kept it on her head, and she was carrying it. So it was very heavy, big load. So somebody might have helped her to keep it on her head initially. So she carried that big pile of firewood and she started walking. Now, while she was walking, she could not see on the path there was a rock. So she stumbled on the rock, and when she stumbled, the pile of firewood on her head fell down on the ground. So immediately, nobody was there to help her to put it back on her head. So what she did was she called out for Krishna. Oh Krishna, please come, help me. And Krishna appeared there. And Krishna asked, oh, what do you want? And the old lady said, can you please take this pile of firewood and again keep it back on my head? So Krishna did that and he disappeared. Actually, such a foolish thing to ask from Krishna. If you're meeting Krishna, you should ask, my dear Lord, please give me liberation from the cycle of birth and death. I'm suffering so much in this world. But instead of asking liberation, she was asking, put the firewood back on my head. Now, this is the kind of prayer that generally people of this world offer to Krishna. Instead of requesting Krishna, my dear Lord, give me attraction to your devotional service. Give me attachment to your holy name. Help me become fixed up in devotional service in your devotees association. Instead of asking like this, we ask, oh Lord, please give me good bank balance. Please give me wealth. It is said, Dhanam Dehi, Putram Dehi, Rupavati, Bharya Dehi. This is the kind of prayer that people generally offer to the Lord. Oh Lord, give me wealth. Give me good sons. Give me good progeny. Give me a beautiful wife. This kind of prayers. It is simply increasing our material fever. So Kunti Maharani is telling us, don't do such a foolish thing. Don't tell the Lord, please solve my problem. Instead, use that situation to intensify your devotional service to the Lord. Every difficulty is an opportunity to increase our devotional service, intensify our bhakti to the Lord. Every disappointment can be converted into Krishna's appointment. This is the lesson that we learn from this wonderful prayer offered by Kunti Devi. Definitely, we may not be in the consciousness of Kunti Devi. Definitely, we are not in that consciousness right now. But by again and again hearing such wonderful prayers offered by Kunti Devi and other devotees in the Bhagavatam, we should develop a desire. We should aspire to come to this stage of Krishna consciousness, wherein we even welcome miseries. So every calamity can become an opportunity to increase our bhakti to the Lord. So this is what we should understand. So Prabhupada writes in the purport many interesting things. Prabhupada begins the purport by saying that 4 kinds of people come to Krishna. That Krishna says in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Those who are distressed, those who are needy, those who are intelligent, and those who are inquisitive. 4 kinds of pious people come to Krishna. And Prabhupada says others who are not pious, they cannot come to Krishna whatsoever because they are misled by Maya. So therefore, if there is some calamity, the best thing to do is to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. And Prabhupada says, constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from the path, from the cycle of birth and death. So calamities are welcome and they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord. In normal conditions, remembering the Lord is one thing, but in a distressed condition, in a calamitous condition, remembering the Lord will be much more intense, because in a state of helplessness, we will remember the Lord at that time during the dangerous situation. And Prabhupada also quotes from the 10th canto Bhagavatam, from the prayers of the demigods to Lord Krishna in the womb of Devaki. There the Devatas say that the lotus feet of the Lord is the most suitable boat which one has to accept to cross over the ocean of material existence. So what happens if you accept the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, the entire ocean of material existence gets reduced to a puddle of water contained within a calf's hoof print. That means Bhavam Vatsapadam. It becomes Vatsapadam. Vatsapadam means calf's hoof print. Very small, insignificant quantity of water which can be easily jumped over. That means if you accept the lotus feet of the Lord as the boat, if you take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, it's very, very easy to cross over the ocean of material existence. That is what the Devatas say in their prayers. So therefore, if we take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and make the Supreme Lord's abode as our goal, then we will be free from this calamitous world. This world is a place of calamities, repeated calamities. Padam, padam, vipadam. Every step there is a danger. But there is the spiritual world, which is the world of bliss, world of happiness, real joy, eternal bliss. So Krishna is inviting us. Why are you suffering in this world of calamities? Come to my world, come to your real house. This is what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. Another important point that Prabhupada mentions in the purport is this material miseries or calamities that we are experiencing, they are actually false. This is also mentioned in the beginning of Bhagavatam. Anarthopashamam sakshad bhakti yogam adhokshaje. These miseries that we are experiencing, they are actually just like a dream. That is what it is mentioned. This material world, our life in this material world is like a dream. In the dream, somebody may see a tiger following him, ready to pounce on him and eat him, devour him. But as soon as somebody wakes him up from the dream, there is neither the forest where he was running, nor there is a tiger which was about to devour him. That means when we are awakened by the instructions of the pure devotee of the Lord, the Acharya, then our material dream will be finished. So we have to understand that this material miseries are all superfluous. They are simply experienced by the mind. But when a devotee awakens his real self, when a devotee awakens to reality of rendering pure devotional service to the Lord, he is unaffected by the dream because he lives in the real reality. The real reality is eternal relationship with Krishna. That is the actual reality. So we have to awaken ourselves to that actual reality. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of the songs. He says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling all of us, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra Gelo Bhai, Pishachira Kole. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Jeev Jago, oh Jivas, get up from your slumber. For how long will you take pleasure in sleeping on the lap of witch called as Maya? I have brought a very special medicine for you to cure your forgetfulness. I have brought this Harinama mantra. Please take this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Get cured of your material disease and awaken from your slumber and go back to Godhead. This is Mahaprabhu's special mercy in this Kali Yuga. So we have to always stay in contact with the Lord through one of the 9 processes of bhakti. Always. Either we should be thinking about the Lord or we should be hearing about the Lord. We should chant the Lord's holy names. We should engage in some service to the Lord. Always. When we are in contact with the Lord in this way, then very soon we will be able to get out of this material existence and go back to the spiritual world. So Kunti Devi's prayer is very instructive. Let there be more miseries so that there is more opportunity to remember you intensely, Krishna. And remembering you means no more coming back to this material existence. Let's go to the next shloka, text 26. Janmaishwarya Shrutashriभिर्येधमानमदः पुमान् नैवाहत्यभिधातुं वै त्वामकिञ्चन gocharam. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Kunti Devi continued, My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Purport. Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth, an education, and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly, O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency, but there is a quality to such utterances also. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely 1. High parentage, 2. Good wealth, 3. High education, and 4. Attractive beauty, are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. The material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature as much as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, such impoverishment is a good sign as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So another very interesting, yet another revolutionary prayer, a very big revelation made by Kunti Devi. So she is saying, Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir Yedamana Madav Puman. She is listing four things which make a person become intoxicated with mada. Mada means pride. What are the four things which are most desirable by everyone and which make a person puffed up or proud? Janma, number one. Birth in a very good family, in aristocracy. Aishwarya. Aishwarya means material wealth, opulence. Shruta. Shruta means education, material education, being very learned. Shri. Shri means beauty, material bodily beauty. So Kunti Devi is listing these four things and she says, these four things, Yedhamana means progressively increasing, Madaha. It increases the Mada, the intoxication, the pride of a person, Puman, the human being. So what is the result of possessing these four things and becoming intoxicated by these four things? Kunti Devi is saying, Na eva arhati, na never, eva, ever, arhati deserves, abhidhatum. Abhidhatum means to address in feeling. The Sanskrit word abhidhana means name, or the way you call a person, that's called abhidhana. And here abhidhatum means to address in feeling. Why? Certainly, tvam, you, akinchana gocharam, one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted person. So Kunti Devi is saying, "O Krishna, in this world, people are running behind these four things. They think these four are the most desirable things. But after possessing them, people become puffed up. They become very proud. They become intoxicated. And the result is that they will not be able to feelingly call out your names, your holy names. So a person who is materially absorbed, he may call out the Lord's name as a formality, but he has no faith in the holy name. He has no conviction that the holy name is not different from Krishna. He calls out the holy name, he chants the mantras in a very ritualistic manner, but there is no feeling. That is what Kunti Devi is saying. If you compare this stanza with the previous stanza, in the previous stanza, she is saying, Kunti Devi is saying, I want more and more miseries. That means she is desiring something which nobody desires in this world normally. And in this verse, she is saying, these four things, Janma, Aishwarya, Shrutaha, Shribi, they are normally desired by people in this world, but I don't want these things. Because if I become intoxicated with these things, then I cannot feelingly chant your holy names. That means, for a pure devotee, what is normally desirable by people in this world becomes the most undesirable if it is not helping them, if it is not helping him to remember Krishna. And on the contrary, what is most undesirable for people in this world becomes most desirable if that is going to help them serve the Lord in one or the other way. See, this is the wonderful thing. This is how devotees are called transcendental. Everybody in this world want to avoid miseries, but pure devotee says, let more miseries come because I can remember you better, more and more. And everybody wants material opulence, wealth, good name, fame, but pure devotee says, I don't want this because I get intoxicated by this and I'll forget you, Krishna. You see how pure devotees, they are different. Even though they are in the material world, they're actually not in material consciousness. That is why Srila Prabhupada says, a pure devotee always lives with Krishna in the spiritual world. Even though he appears to be living in the material world like others, but he is totally different in his consciousness because his only goal is to remember Krishna, to serve Krishna in all circumstances. This is what Lord Shiva says in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam when Parvati Devi curses Maharaj Chitraketu to become a demon. Maharaj Chitraketu, being a pure Vaishnava by the association of Narad Muni, he did not become disturbed at all by that curse. And instead, he He accepted that curse with a smile on his face. And that time, Lord Shiva describes the glories of pure devotees. He says, Narayana para sarve nakutaschana bibhyati swargapavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshinaha. Oh, my dear Parvati, this is the nature of pure devotees of Lord Narayana. What is their nature? Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibhyati. They are not afraid of any material circumstance because they are fully fixed up in the service of the Lord. They are Narayana Parayanaha. And for them, Swarga, heavenly planets, Apavarga, liberation from material existence, or Naraka, residence in hellish planets, are all the same. Tulyartha Darshinaha. They see all of them equally. This is how the pure devotees are called transcendental. Huh? So, therefore, we have to understand these are very, very wonderful verses of Bhagavatam. These prayers of Kunti Devi are so special. We have to every day meditate on these prayers. We may not be in that condition of our, we may not be in that state of consciousness like Kunti Devi, definitely, that we desire miseries and we don't want material opulence. Currently, we are not in that state. But we know that we have to come to that stage of consciousness that is displayed by Kunti Devi and the Pandavas. Only then we can actually achieve the lotus feet of Krishna. Only then we can actually attain the supreme goal of life, which is pure love for Krishna. So a devotee, Prabhupada compares our material attachments to fever. So when we are having fever, the body temperature is very high. That's a symptom of fever. Now we should do something to reduce that temperature. Not that we should do something to increase that temperature. So right now we have forgotten Krishna and we are fully absorbed in material consciousness. We should not do something which will aggravate or increase our material fever. That means slowly we should develop detachment towards our personal comforts, name and fame. We should engage all our senses, our body, mind, our opulence, our wealth, our abilities, everything should be engaged in Krishna's service. Then we are very well situated. Then we become the most suitable candidates for receiving the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. When Narad Muni cursed, so the connection for this with the current Kartik month is Narad Muni curses the sons of Kuvera to become two trees. Now his intention was to reduce the material fever of Nalakuvara and Manigriva, who were intoxicated by Janma, Aishwarya, Shrutaha, Shrivi. All these four they had. The sons of Kuvera, they had a very good parentage. They were born as the son of the treasurer of the Devatas, Kuvera. And they were very beautiful to look at, very young, able-bodied. And they were very learned because they were actually demigods, very learned, very knowledgeable. And they had a lot of material wealth, Aishwarya. But they became intoxicated because of all these four things, and they could not offer respects to a pure saintly devotee like Narad Muni. So out of compassion, Narad Muni cursed these two sons of Kubera, that I'll put you into a situation where you will be devoid of Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribhi, and then you will realize the futility of material enjoyment. Then I will request the Lord to come and deliver you personally. Then you will become free totally from this material fever, and you will attain devotional service at the lotus feet of the Lord. So when we offer lamps to the Lord and sing Damodara Ashtaka, the seventh stanza, Kuveratmajau Baddha Murtyaiva Yadvat Tvaya Mochitau Bhakti Bhajau Kritaucha. So Satyavrata Muni is saying, just like you delivered the sons of Kuvera and bestowed upon them pure devotional service or anything else, I don't want material name, fame, wealth, beauty, all of this I don't want. I just want to be engaged in your devotional service. This should be the prayer to Lord Damodara each day when we offer lamp to the Lord. So we will continue to read in the next session. Thank you for joining. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.